an analytical way of representing a vector AB bar or AB vector or bolded AB. Okay. If you want to specify the length, you can usually use a smaller letter there, and you want to use that letter for naming the vector. We generally say A bar, A vector, or bolded A. So in different books, you may find different representations, different notations. So stick to it. You understand that? Okay. Magnitude of a vector is represented as magnitude of A bar like this, or simply A. Magnitude of a vector is just this length. That's all. Magnitude of A bar or A. Direction of a vector is specified using what is called as a unit vector, and you write it as A cap. We read it as A cap. We write it as shown, A cap or AB cap. Okay, there is no bolding here. They say A cap or AB cap. This is called a unit vector. This is also a unit vector. A unit vector is distinctly shown with a cap above the term. Bar, arrow, etc. denotes that it's a vector. A unit vector is specifically written with a cap on the head. Okay. Say for example, you will find a question like this in the exam. Say for example, there's a question. What is the magnitude of A cap? Without saying anything about the vector A, they ask you what is the magnitude of A cap. It's always 1. What is the direction of A cap? We don't know. What vector is A bar? We don't know. But the direction of A cap is always 1. The magnitude, sorry. The magnitude of B cap is also always 1. Whatever vector it is, in whatever direction it is present in, the magnitude of B cap, because cap denotes it's a vector, unit vector. Okay. Magnitude of B bar is how much? That we cannot say. Without knowing what is a vector, we cannot say what is magnitude of a vector. Okay. So this is about initial terminology related to vectors. There are other terms related to vectors. Let us talk about them for a moment. Terminology of vectors. Okay. First one, line of action of a vector. Line of action of a vector is basically this. When you draw a vector A, B bar, let us say, line of action of the vector is nothing but the line along which the vector is present. It's a line. So clearly you don't assign any direction to line. Line has no direction, or it has 2 directions, you could say. Okay. You don't worry about the direction of a line, but line of action of a vector is basically this long line that contains the vector. Understood? Okay. So that is the line of action of a vector. Number 2, another term. We have something called parallel vectors. Parallel vectors are those which have the same line of action. Vectors having the same line of action are called parallel vectors. Meaning, if this is a vector AB bar, and if this is a vector CD bar, the line of action of AB bar is this. The line of action of CD bar is this. Okay. The lines may seem to be different. The lines will be different only if AB bar vector and CD bar vector, only if they are spatially distinct. What do we mean by spatially distinct? Right? If 2 vectors are in the same direction, yet not acting at the same point, right? They don't have the same initial point, but they are pointing in the same direction. Then you say the 2 vectors are spatially distinct vectors. They may be parallel, but they are spatially distinct vectors. Okay. However, there is a concept. Until you reach the concept of dynamics, rotational dynamics chapter, until you come to that chapter, parallel lines of action may be considered as the same line of action. May be considered as same line of action. So what is this? I do not understand. See here. Say for example, there is a door. Okay. So this is the door. This is the door we have. Now, based on where I apply a force, the door will start rotating. Correct or not? If I apply a force here, the door will turn this way towards the closure. This is where the hinges are. If I apply a force here, F1, let us say, if I apply a force F1 right at the edge, meaning the farthest possible distance from the hinges. If I apply that force, it will produce a lot of rotation. If I apply the same force, F1, the value is same. If I apply the same force at a different point, say half point of the door, it may not be able to generate as much as rotation now. If I apply the same amount of force on the hinges in the same direction, it will not create any rotation at all. So the action of these forces, F1, F2, F3, are three different forces, but they are same in magnitude and same in direction also. They are all equal forces. However, the actions of those forces or the consequence of those forces seem to be different because they are acting at different points. Okay, that is what is called as a spatial distinction. If a vector acts differently, if it is acted at a different point, then you say it's a different vector. You consider both cases to be different vectors, even though they are of same magnitude as well as same direction. Until that chapter, in the chapter kinematics, in the chapter forces, in all these chapters, we can consider, we are going to deal with only point objects. So we can consider that vectors are free vectors. Vectors are spatially indistinct or spatially indistinctable. I hope it's a word. Anyway, free vectors is a common word that is used. Free vector is that which you can move around without changing direction or magnitude. Okay, what I mean is, what is a free vector? If this vector is called A bar and it has a magnitude 3 units and it has a particular direction, if I draw another vector of same magnitude 3 units in the same direction, then this vector can also be called A bar, even though the two vectors have different initial point. They may be pointing in the same direction and having the same magnitude. Because they are acting at different points, they are actually two different vectors. However, if they are free vectors, you can call them to be equal vectors or same vectors. Okay. So because we are only dealing with free vectors, any two vectors, two or more, in fact, any two or more vectors having same or parallel lines of action are called parallel vectors. So what are parallel vectors? Those vectors which have same line of action or parallel lines of action. Okay. So this vector and this vector are parallel vectors. Examples. This vector and this vector are also parallel vectors. See, these two vectors here, A bar, this is A bar and B bar. A bar and B bar are parallel vectors. Let us say this is C bar and this is D bar. C bar and D bar are also parallel vectors. They are in opposite directions, sir. I cannot call them parallel. It's not like that. Parallel vectors can be in opposite directions also. They need not point in the same direction. Look at the definition again. The line of action of this C bar vector, the line of action of this D bar vector are parallel to each other. Lines do not have direction, I told you already. Just because two vectors have parallel lines of action or coincident lines of action, you can call them parallel vectors, whether they are in the same direction or opposite direction. Okay, so understand that parallel does not imply same direction, but same direction implies parallel vectors. Opposite direction also implies parallel vectors. So if two vectors are in opposite direction, they are parallel vectors. If two vectors are in the same direction, they are parallel vectors. If two vectors are parallel, that does not mean that they are in the same direction. They could be in opposite direction also. Understood? So that is about parallel vectors. Parallel vectors are those which have parallel lines of action. Okay. So yeah, so another terminology, how many did we write? So now, third one, there is a word that is commonly used called unlike vectors. But this is not a technical one, more of a colloquial word. Okay. So you may not find it in good textbooks, but there are many textbooks actually these days keep using these terms actually. So unlike vectors, or they may also use anti-parallel vectors. This is not exactly a technical term. In mathematics, you will not find, in good books of mathematics, you will not find these words, okay? But when you come across these words in any book that you're reading for your exam, unlike vectors or antiparallel vectors, treat them as opposite vectors, okay? Vectors in opposite direction. You treat them as vectors in opposite directions, okay? So unlike vectors or antiparallel vectors are vectors in opposite directions. Good. Next. What other terminologies can we think of? Say unit vector, we already saw the word though. Unit vector, vector of magnitude 1, okay? Zero vector or null vector, as the name suggests, it is a vector of magnitude 0. Okay, so what is the point of these two vectors? Okay, what's the point of unit vector? Why do we have a unit vector? We already saw it, right? We use unit vectors to specify directions. Unit vectors specify directions. What name should I give to unit vectors? It's our wish only. We can give any name. Say, for example, say northwards will now be called as n cap. Okay, let us now call, from now onwards, let us call northwards as n cap. Then 10 newtons of force acting in the northern direction, 10 newtons of force northwards can be written as 10 n cap. Now we have written the force in terms of vector. Okay, just a second. 10 n cap is the force that is acting, 10 units of force that is acting northwards. And I have to include the unit also, capital N. Okay, that is Newton. This n cap is not for newtons. N cap means northwards, that's all. I hope you understood. Okay, say for example, 50 meters per second northwards. How do I write this? If I have named northwards as n cap, that is only a convention. I just named northwards as n cap. That is not the proper definition of n cap. Northwards may not be called n cap usually. Okay, you can give it a different name also, no problem at all. 50 meters per second northwards velocity. This velocity, may call it maybe v bar. V bar is equal to what? 50 n cap meters per second. That is how you write it as a quantity, right? This is the vector notation of that vector. Okay. Similarly, 6 meters per second square southwards. 6 meters per second square southwards. Acceleration. Let us say acceleration is a bar. A bar equal to. How do I write 6 meters per second square southwards? Should I write 6 s cap? Not necessary, because we have already specified, or we have already given a name to northwards. Its opposite will be minus of that. Okay. So if n cap represents a direction northwards, then minus n cap represents the direction southwards. So a bar can be written as minus 6 n cap meters per second square. Look at the advantage of this. You don't have to name it again. Name south again. Okay. Similarly, if you name eastwards as e cap, westwards would become minus e cap. In a Cartesian coordinate system, this is x-axis, this is y-axis. If you name this direction as I cap and maybe this direction as j cap, then automatically negative y gets a name minus j cap, negative x gets a name minus I cap. Okay, so any direction in the direction positive x-axis, anything in the positive x direction can be written as I cap. Anything that is in the positive y direction can be written as j cap. Say for example, a man moves 15 meters on x-axis to the right of origin, to the right maybe from origin. Okay, then his displacement is, what is his displacement? Displacement s bar equal to, what should I write? 15 units, 15 numerical value, meter is unit, direction is right from origin on x-axis. On x-axis, right side from origin would be positive x-axis. So positive I cap, 15 I cap meter. That is how you write the vector. Got it? Understood? If the man moved, okay, then he moves. From there he moves 10 meters below x-axis. Below x-axis would be negative y direction. So if this is displacement 1, then displacement 2 would be minus 10 j cap meters. Like that you write. I hope you know how to write a vector with only one dimension. Okay. So that is how you write a vector. That is what unit vectors are used for. So after unit vector and zero, what is zero vector? What is the purpose of a zero vector? Zero vector is a vector that has magnitude 0. So what's the point of that vector? Mostly the zero vector has no direction, obviously, because it has no magnitude. If there is no magnitude, in what direction can you point it? It can have a random direction. It has what you call an arbitrary direction. Okay, zero vector has an arbitrary direction. It is a random direction. Okay, then what is the point of having a zero vector if it is not going to particularly show in one specific direction? Zero vector is known. Say, for example, I have algebra of vectors. Like I subtract a number from another number, I can also subtract a vector from another vector. We'll see how to subtract vectors later, but for now, you can actually do it. Right? Just know that you can do it. Vector minus another vector. There is subtraction of vectors possible. What if I subtract a bar from a bar? What will it give you? If I subtract a vector from itself, what you get is obviously nothing, 0. But then, when you subtract a vector from a vector, you actually get another vector. Okay? When you subtract a vector from another vector, you actually get a vector quantity as a result. But if you subtract a bar from a bar, and if you say the answer is 0, 0 is a scalar. That is like, it kind of contradicts from the definition of algebra of vectors. No, vector subtracting from a vector should give you another vector quantity only. But a bar minus a bar equal to 0 would be a contradictory statement. Just to make sure the statement is correct according to the definition, you say 0 bar. Okay, instead of saying it's 0, you say 0 bar. It is not a simple 0. A bar minus a bar is equal to 0 bar, not a simple 0. So mostly the purpose of zero vector is in such conditions only, just to make sure the definitions are correct. Okay, that's all. All right, so that was the 5th one. 6th one. What else do we have? Okay, so there are some more terminology that you can neglect for now. Those are some big quantities. Let us not worry about it, but we can actually define one thing though. Because we are in the terminology thing, we can talk about something called angle between vectors. Very important concept, so please be attentive. Angle between vectors. What is meant by angle between vectors? Okay, just wait on this. Please do not leave. Remember this. Angle between vectors means what? If a vector a bar is like this, and maybe another vector b bar is like this, they may be of different magnitude or same magnitude. They may be in the same direction or different direction, whatever it is. If two vectors are like this, a bar and b bar, then angle between two vectors is what? I can find an angle here. I can also find another angle here. Right? These two vectors are drawn having the same initial point. Such vectors are called co-initial vectors. If you draw two vectors with the same terminal point, you call them co-terminal vectors. Okay. So when you draw two vectors as co-initial vectors or co-terminal vectors, then the smaller angle formed between them is called as angle between vectors. Okay. What does it mean? Say for example, this is a bar and maybe this is b bar. And because you have drawn them co-terminally, this would be the angle between vectors. Let me call that theta. Okay. If this is a bar and maybe this is b bar. Now see, in this case, a bar and b bar are not drawn co-initially or co-terminally. Neither have we drawn it co-initially, nor we have drawn them co-terminally. The terminal point of b vector is matching with the initial point of the a vector. So to calculate what is the angle between two vectors, you may have to redraw them such that their terminal points meet or their initial points meet. Right? So what I'll do is I'll just see there is no spatial discrimination. So I can just extend this a bar this way, this direction, this side of it, and then say this is a bar. Right? Same amount of magnitude as here, a. I'll put another vector here with the same magnitude, and in the same direction I'll put. Because these two things, this one and this one, have the same magnitude, and pointing in the same direction, I can call this also as a vector A bar. And now if this is A bar and this is B bar, they are co-terminal. Smaller angle between them would be this. This would be the angle between two vectors. Okay. For example, let us say this is a nice equilateral triangle. This is a nice equilateral triangle. Okay. And this side is called A bar, say in this direction. This side is called B bar, say in this direction. This side is called C bar, say in this direction. Okay. I cannot call them A bar, A bar, A bar, right? They may all be of same length. They may all be of same magnitude, but they are all pointing in different directions. So they are not equal vectors. Okay. So clearly I cannot give them same names. Remember that. What I just know is that magnitude of A bar is equal to magnitude of B bar is equal to magnitude of C bar. That's all I know. Okay. I also know that this is 60 degree. But if the question is this, angle between A bar and B bar is equal to dash. What should I answer here? Angle between A bar and B bar is equal to dash. Just because in the diagram you will find a number 60 degree between A bar and B bar, the answer cannot be 60 degree here. Wrong. That is not how you calculate angle between two vectors. How do you do that? Angle between two vectors is the smaller angle that you will find between them when they are drawn co-initially or co-terminally. A bar and B bar in the diagram are neither co-initial nor they are co-terminal. So I can extend A bar in the same direction. If I extend it to the same length, that vector would be A bar. This would be the smaller angle between A bar and B bar. This is how much actually, right? This angle and this angle form a straight pair. They are on a straight line. So they must add up to 180 degree. This is the supplement of 60 degree, which is 120 degrees. So the angle between A bar and B bar is actually 120 degree, not 60 degree. Remember. Okay. What is the angle between A bar and C bar? Same 120 degree. What is the angle between B bar and C bar? Same 120 degree. Say for example question. What is the angle between B bar and minus C bar? What is the angle between B bar and minus C bar? What is B bar? This is B bar in the diagram. This is B bar. C bar is actually this. Correct? But the question mein, there is no C bar. Angle between, they are asking angle between B bar and minus C bar. I have drawn B bar, but this is actually, the other thing is actually C bar. I want to draw minus C bar. Minus C bar is nothing but the same vector C bar drawn in opposite direction. Same length, but in opposite direction. Exactly opposite direction. So this is minus C bar. Now I have B bar and minus C bar vectors. I need to calculate the angle between them. Angle between them is not this. Okay. Angle between B bar and minus C bar is not that. Why is it not that? Because B bar and minus C bar are not co-initial. Neither, I mean, they are not also co-terminal. So we may have to calculate that first. We may have to redraw them first. Okay. How do I redraw? I can extend B bar this way, and then this would be the direction of B bar. Now you see B bar and minus C bar, this one, B bar and minus C bar are co-initial. Then the smaller angle between them would be angle between B bar and minus C bar. Okay. So you know that this is 60 degree from the diagram. You know that this is 60 degree, and this line and this line actually form two vertically opposite angles. So this angle is also 60 degrees. So angle between B bar and minus C bar is actually 60 degree. Understood? Angle between two vectors. How do I define angle between two vectors? Angle between two vectors is the smaller angle between them when they are drawn co-initially or co-terminally. Okay, so that is the definition for angle between two vectors. So, okay, anyway, so it's already past 4:30 now. You guys told you had other class works and all that. Please go ahead. Please read from vectors again. I hope tomorrow we will not have a hassle. Tomorrow I will not look for a device. I will bring my own device tomorrow. We'll basically do the class on that. So that will be a little more easier. I'll try to get used to OneNote. Maybe I'll try to use OneNote tomorrow. That way it will be easy for me to, export it as PDF and share it with you if you want. But otherwise, yeah. So that's it. Okay. So yeah. Chalo, the classroom will be still online. I'll keep posting material there, but the doubt clarification will not be done on Google Classroom anymore because it is draining a lot of my time and energy. So please bear with me. If you have any doubts and if you care to ask doubts, please go ahead and ask me on WhatsApp. I'll be obliged to answer you. No issues. I'll feel no problem there. But on Google Classroom, it's kind of a pain. Okay, so please understand. And yeah, thank you for understanding anyway. So see you. Bye. Take care. I am looking at slides.